Thank you very much, Chair. And might I say that I must leave you at 4 o'clock, but I'll be hearing the answer. Any answers that come subsequent to that, we'll get them on the records anyway. And we'll be discussing all of the answers, I presume, in the context of our report later, Chair. Could I join with colleagues in welcoming our guests and thank them for their really positive and very interesting talks and answers? And it's much appreciated. And might I, at the outset, without going into it again, they did it very eloquently, concur with what my colleagues, Senator McDougall and Gallagher, said about the improvement of infrastructure, physical infrastructure, north, south, and access, and all that goes with that. So I concur with all of that, and I won't repeat it, but it's, I think, of crucial importance. I think I'd like to start with agriculture. We were clearly, and as we all know, a major customer, or the UK rather, was a major customer for our agricultural exports, notably in beef, but right across dairy and all sectors. And interestingly, as you mentioned, cheese, and there's a controversy, as we know there, but we're not going into that here. I think that's sub you to say. But anyway, the agricultural exports were so crucial. Consequently, the veterinary agreement for the smooth movement of agricultural product and the cheaper movement would be important. And I would assume it would be your view, John and colleagues, that the veterinary agreement is a very likely outcome. I hope it is. I would also, you kind of answered the question in one of your responses earlier. I was going to ask you, John, was there any doubt about the fact that UK consumers would want our product? And I think you did say they would, in preference to anything else. So I think it's important that we're up there and in there with that market, and hopefully with the veterinary agreement, hopefully with the smooth movement and with the protocol sorted, that we will be fit to advantage the whole island in that area. And any further comments you have on agriculture? You did make some comments about the product from the border area getting to the consumer the next morning, etc., being good. So any further comments you want to make will be helpful. But I think agriculture, I'm heartened by our discussion around that. And I'd just like to hear you say whether you think the veterinary agreement is a very likely outcome. I assume that it is, and I pray that it is. Moving to your other theme of green energy, do you see UK, we have a great potential, as we all know, for wave energy here, etc. Do you see the UK as a net customer for our green energy? Do you see the reverse? We have the north. Where there's a controversial north-south Easter connector in the pipeline at the moment. But would you expand a little on the potential? It's an exciting kind of a concept, and it's one of the things how we should look at the climate change bill in a domestic context, as well as internationally. That green energy, the green agenda does not have to be about impoverishing ourselves, but there can be great opportunity within the green space and the green energy area. So I'd be interested in your comments if you'd expand a little on that, John, the green agenda one. If I could move to your point about the highly educated young English-speaking workforce that we have, surely they should be a reason that it's taking Senator McDougall's point that Indigenous industry has to be a great priority. At the same time, it should be an attraction for UK businesses to locate in Ireland, for inward investment from the UK, that we have such an educated young workforce and English speaking. And shouldn't it assist us in selling services to the UK, at the sale of various services, because of our educated population here to the UK? And anything you'd say about that would be helpful. Lastly, on the protocol, presumably, you would accept, would you agree, John and colleagues, that the protocol is, when it's enshrined in international law and it's up there, that it's unlikely that the UK would persist in its demolition? Hopefully, what would be the ideal is that we could reach a consensus around how to deal with it, and that, that we could adapt the protocol, and as you say, with imaginative terminology and imaginative responses, make the protocol work. Because the protocol, as we all know, is critical to preventing a hard border in the Republic between the North and the Republic, and causing chaos on our island. So it's a very important aspect. And I just, maybe you might elaborate further on that. But my overall comment would be that I found today highly positive and very worthwhile. And it's an exciting vista. And it would be so stupid of us not to focus very much on this agenda, while, of course, seeking to break in further markets into Europe and elsewhere. Of course, we do that. But this obvious market at close proximity with so many elements of kinship, similar language and educational levels, etc. It's a market that we can't sensibly ignore. Thank you very much to all, and thank you, Chair.